different instruments were there?
So it was quite a few because 100 musicians. So you have, so in an orchestra, there are different sections. We don't look at it as instruments. So you've got like a violin section 1, which is a bunch of violin players. Violin section 2, which is also a bunch of violin players. Then you have the viola, then you have the cellos, and then you have the double bass. The cellos and double bass are the really big looking violins. And then you have the brass, which is the metal instrument, the wind instruments. And then you have the horns. So we have 8 French horns, which is like, which is what gives it this huge sound. And then we have woodwinds, which is your flutes and stuff like that. And then you have your percussion section, and you have your choir. So basically, this is what is constituted this entire orchestra.
Congratulations, it's beautiful. We've got so many Philharmonic versions in this one. It's very full.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Something that really stood out is the vocal piece towards the end is done completely by non-Indians.
Yeah.
Irony is not lost on us. The idea that you shot it in UK and we had non-Indians singing it. So was that something you did on purpose? Like them celebrating the independence of India? In many ways, it's very evocative, to have non-Indian voices singing. Also similar to what you did last year. So was that something you consciously thought of? Or?
It's difficult for me to answer the question because for me, the main reason why I had the voices was to bring out the bigness in the end. And I felt that the Jaya Hai was very important for us to incorporate that. And they got the pronunciations pretty quickly. Like I'll be putting out a making of video soon. So whether you will be able to see that, I just had to get them to repeat the Jaya Hai about twice, and then they got the exact pronunciation because the UK tongue goes to Jaya Hai. That's what they normally do. So I had to tell them that it's more like a J-U-Y-A, Jaya Hai, and they got it pretty much immediately. So it wasn't that it had to be a Western voice or a UK voice. It was that they were part of the Philharmonic. So basically, utilize that entire ensemble. So the voices, the way that I look at it is that it's not lyrical. I look at it as being part of the instrumentation itself, and it brings that it brings a goosebumps moment in the end, with the voices. Yeah.
On that note, one of your previous anthems, Jaya Kandadatai.
Yeah.
Are you planning to redo that anytime soon?
I hope to, because I've already done 2 versions of it. I hope to do another one, and I perform it quite often on stage too. Yeah. On a different note, Romal had conducted one of my first ever interviews in my life in 2007, I think. So it's quite amazing that he still tolerates me. And he still has questions to ask.
Congratulations, first of all. And Independence Day is round the corner, and I would like to congratulate for creating such a masterpiece. Since I belong from a different background of India, and I would like to ask you one generic question. Do you take pride after creating this masterpiece?
I'm generally a very proud Indian. So I'm generally that way. So for me, the national anthem is sacrosanct, and it needs to have a lot of respect. And that's the reason why whenever I do a version of the national anthem, it's always the 52-53 second version. I don't take liberties with the national anthem. So even in this one, even though it is as creative as I can get, I'm not taking liberties with it. I'm not slowing it down and changing the melody and all of that stuff. I'm keeping the melody intact because for me that is absolutely sacrosanct. And for me, I do not want to deviate from that at all. But yeah, the thing is that I guess right now I've not had a moment to sit down and revel in this and take some pride in it because it's been non-stop action since because I landed in Delhi. Was it yesterday? Yeah. So yesterday I landed in Delhi from London, and yesterday in the morning, and then I had a similar press conference. No, it was Mumbai, sorry. Yeah. So I landed in Mumbai yesterday and I had a similar press conference over there in the afternoon, and then in the evening I had a concert in Mumbai, and then I landed over here in the morning. And then I had some engagements in the morning, and then now I'm doing this. So basically, I'll probably get some sleep only after this releases. But the thing is that since there's no major label support for this, and it's not like this is with a T-Series or something like that. It's basically completely 100% self-funded. There is no corporate entity involved. Only the generosity of people like Leela, for doing these press conferences. But no corporate entity is involved. There's no branding involved. There's zero branding on this particular thing. So the only way we can get this spread far and wide is if everybody chip in. Everybody posted on the social media. As I said that I do not want it to be like it's on my YouTube and all of you all share a link, or it's on my Instagram and everybody share a link or whatever. please share it on your own social media. That's what I want you to be. And even if you want to have a note before it, like have a short video of you describing the anthem and then do the anthem, that's also totally fine. But just try to spread this version of the national anthem far and wide so that this becomes sort of like a definitive version and not what is played in the theatres today. So
Absolutely, you have made us proud before and you will be doing that again and again.
Talking about defense, we've done quite a few concerts for the army. The greatest concert, at least what I consider to be the greatest concert of my life, was when Kargil Divas celebrated 20 years of Kargil Divas in 2019.
Okay, I have a short note to add to this. Is my father is a Kargil War veteran.
Wow, amazing.
I come from that background. So I know what it means to listen to the Indian National Anthem.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to it, it gives me a lot of goosebumps.
Yeah.
And right now, you're saying just the right thing. Thank you so much for creating
So
this.
Kargil Divas we had performed for celebrating 20 years of Kargil Divas, and we did this performance in Leh at an elevation of 12,000 feet with the Shanti Stupa as my backdrop, with 12,000 army soldiers wearing uniform in front of me as my audience. A 2-hour concert. It was easily the greatest experience ever of my life. And then we've done a lot of other concerts for the army at the MEG Center in Jodhpur and a bunch of other places. So performing for the army has always been an absolute privilege for me. Thank you. Yeah, her question was that how long did it take for me to come up with this arrangement? Of course, the composition is not mine. The composition is Rabindranath Tagore's. But for me, I've just decorated it in a completely different way. So yeah, it took me about 3 months to do this, because you have to write all the parts for all the different sections and all the different instruments. Those sheets need to be kept in front of the musicians and they play it. So it's quite a complicated thing. There are people who can do it faster, but for me, I took my own sweet time, and I also had a friend of mine in Nashville to help me out with this. So basically that. To answer your question, it was about 3 months of work.
Brilliant. I have a theme that you're working on for your music.
So I'm coming up with another album with Stuart Copeland, the drummer of the Police. One of the set in Rolling Stone is called him the greatest drummer in the history of music. He just so the last album that I did, which won 2 Grammys, was Divine Tides with him, and we're releasing another album on the 18th of this month. So it's an album called Beyond Borders. So that album will be releasing on the 18th. So that's the next thing. But talking about the anthem itself, now the thing is that I think the national anthem evokes a lot of pride in us Indians, and I believe that that this is a very good way to spread our national anthem internationally. Of having these collaborations with musicians from all over the world, and hopefully that's what I keep saying this, but I'm hoping that this becomes sort of like a definitive version that everybody go to when they have to play the national anthem.
Performance which you could not even dream for. What a dream come true for Indians.
So I just want as many people to listen to it and keep it with them, not just listen to it once, but keep it with them. So that's what I'm hoping for. So spread it far and wide. That's all. That's all my objective.
But as does lyrics to a huge extent, did you consider having vocals aside from the Jai Hai part in this?
See, the thing is that, of course, I did consider it, obviously, but the thing is that I feel to evoke a strong sense of emotion, I think the music is a little more powerful. That's what I feel, because we know the national anthem so well that we're already thinking about the lyrics in our mind when we're listening to it. So we do not need to actually portray those lyrics and give it a face, So I don't think that is necessary. So I think the emotions are conveyed very well through the music, because we're thinking about the lyrics while we are listening to the music anyway. So that is why I thought instrumental. And yeah, that's what. And not talking about this version, but when I did the version of the national anthem which had the animals and the forest and the animals, that one I had kept it very consciously instrumental, because we're showing wild animals and all of that stuff in the video, and we're showing forests. So the thing is that I do not want somebody to troll me, because when you have lyrics, you have the words in the national anthem, then it goes into the protocol thing, where everybody needs to be standing at attention, and then there would be a couple of comments on social media or something like that saying that, can you get these animals to stand at attention, or or can you get these wild animals to stand straight and stuff like that. So I did not want to go into that, so there I consciously kept it instrumental, so that it does not get into the constitutional protocol that everybody needs to be standing up and all of that stuff. But in this case, that was not the case. I just felt that the emotions would be far stronger if you're listening to the instrumental and you're thinking about the lyrics. We're talking about world leaders coming together in one room and having a discussion, so it was a very, very powerful thing. So there, I thought that, alright, if we are going to be doing a version of the national anthem, then we should dedicate it to the forest and wildlife, because the whole country, as I said, needs to understand that India is much more than just us human beings. India's got far more biodiversity than just human beings, because somewhere along the journey of being humans, we constantly forget that we are not the only species on this planet. We're just one among millions of species, and coexistence with all of these species is key to our survival as humans. So absolute coexistence is extremely important, and that's what I try to portray to that anthem. The second one, as I mentioned about the refugee thing, the refugee anthem, it was not my suggestion. It was the refugee suggestion that let's do a version of the national anthem, and we recorded that. And I was, of course, overjoyed, that they wanted to do a version of the national anthem. And this one was a very conscious decision, which took me 3 months, and I worked very hard on it. So I'll probably, this is my, sometimes you have your penultimate version, right? Your top version. So I don't think I'll be able to beat this. So that's why this is going to be the version of the national anthem forever. Hello everyone, Namaste. I'm music composer Ricky Cage, and today I just gave a special preview of our Indian National Anthem, which I recorded with the 100-piece orchestra, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, the largest symphony orchestra to ever record our Indian National Anthem. Really thrilled with how it has turned out, and I hope everybody watches it on the 14th of August at 5 p.m. So 14th of August, 5 p.m, it will be all over social media. I hope you share it, I hope you post it on your own social media, because this is a gift to every Indian everywhere. This version of the National Anthem was recorded with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra at Abbey Road Studios in London. I just recorded this about 3 days ago, and it was a great experience working with them, and of course working with the British Orchestra, because as an aside, Britain has ruled us for over 200 years, so it was nice to be an Indian and conduct them, and and work with them, and and it was an honor to work with them to actually create this version of the National Anthem. And I'm very honored to be over here to present my version of the Indian National Anthem, which is going to be releasing on the 14th of August, that is the eve of Independence Day, at 5 p.m. So this version of the National Anthem, I'm really proud of it. I'm really thrilled to actually present this, because it's recorded with the largest symphony orchestra to ever record the Indian National Anthem. That is a 100-member symphony orchestra. Now, the symphony orchestra is the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra from Britain, from the UK. And of course, all of us know that that Britain has ruled us for over 200 years, and it's nice to have an Indian composer actually conduct the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, the most in-demand orchestra in the UK, a 100-member orchestra, performing our beautiful Indian National Anthem. It showcases a new India, and it showcases how India is going from strength to strength as a country and making a difference in this world and taking leadership. So I hope everybody enjoys this version of the National Anthem. Again, it's releasing on the 14th of August at 5 p.m. So when you see this version of the National Anthem, please share it. It's a gift to everybody, every Indian, everywhere in the world. There's no royalties, there's no copyright, anything. Use it for whatever purposes you want. Post it wherever you want. Spread it wherever you want. Let's spread this National Anthem far and wide, and showcase a new India to the whole world.